ask you about the issue. I want to ask you about the triple wide jacket. You lost quite a bit of weight since. How much weight did you lose?
About 110 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of weight.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well, congratulations on that. What was your secret? Is there a secret?
The legislature kept eating my lunch every day. And,
hey, I'll tell you.
No, I mean, my doctor set me down. I faced a health crisis back in 2003, and he basically told me that if I didn't make a lifestyle change, I was entering the last decade of my life.
Wow.
And then he described it, and he said, here's what's going to happen. And when he described it, that's when I decided I needed a new exit strategy.
Right.
So I really changed my lifestyle. I started eating differently, and I got rid of fried foods and sugars. And, you know, I'll tell you something. When you grow up in the South, everything is fried.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you don't eat anything unless you're fried first.
Fried water.
Fried water, yes, we do. So, you know, it's very difficult to do that. And if you don't fry it, you put sugar on it.
Right.
It's just the way we eat.
Right.
And between that and not exercising, which I did not do, it really caught up with me. And I was in a health crisis. So, you know, my life was kind of representative of, like a lot of people in this country that just don't take care of themselves. We don't have a health care crisis as much as we have a health crisis.
Right.
And I was the epitome of it. So, a lot of lifestyle changes.
Oh, good. That's terrific. Now, let's ask you something. Now, you and Romney seem to have gotten into fisticuffs lately. What's going on there? You guys are neck and neck, and it seems to be getting...
Oh, it's politics. I mean, that's what politics is about. I tell people that if you can't stand the sight of your own blood, don't run for anything. Just buy a ticket and watch it from the stands, because this is a full contact sport, no doubt about it.
Let me ask you, on Monday you had a press conference. Now, you were going to release an attack ad, which seemed a little unusual for you. You know, why were you going to do that?
Well, we had been hammered. I mean, we've been outspent 20-1 in Iowa.
Okay.
20-1, and that's tough. And we've been hammered with.
How much did you spend in Iowa?
Oh, I think probably $300,000 to $400,000.
And how much did Romney spend?
$8 or $9 million.
Okay.
So I mean, you know, it's like a substantial difference.
Right.
And we just kept getting hammered with negative television ads and negative radio ads and mail pieces. And finally decided we better answer this, or somebody's going to believe all this stuff.
So they were negative ads.
Well, they seem to.
Yeah.
And then he started hammering John McCain over in New Hampshire. Look, John McCain may be a rival of mine in the presidential race, but I have nothing but respect for him. He's a great American hero, and I think he's a great American and a wonderful man. And he's a great guy. Great guy.
Okay, so
we were going to do the ad.
you put together an ad.
Right, and taped it and got it all ready. We were going to release it in a press conference. And Monday, I just didn't feel right. You know, we've gotten where we are by being positive and talking about what this country needs to be rather than what's wrong with the other guys. And I just said, we're not.
As you were making it, did you feel like
I needed to go take a shower or something like that?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Get kind of get one of those.
Or give Romney a shower, maybe. I don't know. You know, you at the time you just think this is what we have to do. You don't like it, but you think it's necessary. And at the end, you just think.
So then you get a little conscious thing. You decide not to do it. But then, why show it to the press at the press conference? That's
of course, you know, they were very cynical about it. But the point is, if we hadn't have shown it, they'd have said you didn't have an ad. You're just bluffing us. If I really wanted to be disingenuous, what I would have done is run the ad for 3 days and then say, oh, I have a conscience now. I think I'm going to pull it.
Hey, you did that very well. Oh, I have a conscience now. That was a real good political. Oh, well, that's very good.
I hope I have a conscience.
That was very good.
Which would be very unusual for politics to have a conscience.
I know. Now, you have some interesting positions, and I was not aware of this one until just this week when I started researching a little bit. You want to dismantle the IRS. Now, everybody cheers that, but I mean, everybody loves that idea. But what is your alternative? Okay, you do away with the IRS, and then what?
We would have a consumption tax rather than a tax on our productivity.
Like a value-added tax?
Well, it really wouldn't even be a VAT. It's simple, like a sales tax. Okay. At the point of retail sales, let me tell you why that's different. You first of all eliminate the underground economy, so everybody's paying. Okay. Drug dealers, prostitutes, pimps, gamblers, you know, all those people pay like the rest of us.
There must be some legitimate work in America. It can't just be.
But you know, if you think about
well, you really are in politics. Yeah. But what about a poor person goes and suddenly you say, well, how much is your tax? 23, 24%?
It's 23, but here's the thing. Yes. Every person receives a prebate of the taxes that they would have on the level up to poverty, which means what you really do with the fair tax, is what it's called, is you untax the poor. They don't pay taxes, which means it's really a progressive tax system. And that's why I love it, because it would take the people who are the least able to afford taxes, and it virtually untaxes them. Here's what it also does. It frees people up to earn as much as they want. You don't get taxed on income, savings, investments, capital gains, or death. I met a guy in New Hampshire. This is an interesting point. He's working a second shift at the machine shop, trying to help his daughter go through Cornell because she's in grad school, $54,000 a year to help her. And he's working the second shift. My first thing was, thank you, Lord, my daughter's not in grad school at Cornell, because that's a lot of money. But then he tells me, he says, I'm now in a new tax bracket because I'm working the second shift. And the additional taxes I'm paying almost takes away what I'm getting in the second shift. Now what we've done, we've told him that if he really, really works hard, we're going to make it really hard for him to help his daughter. Here's how he could get his daughter some help. Quit both shifts, stop working, and he could then qualify for his daughter to have some federal assistance. That's nutty. We ought to have a system that encourages people to work. To think about the small business guy that sketches out the idea on his kitchen table. He wants to go into business for himself. But his greatest competitor is not the guy across town or across the country. His greatest competitor is his own government that makes it real difficult for him to fill out the paperwork and pay the taxes.
Now, quickly, the Democrats also seem to be in a dead heat now. Well, let's say you win. Who would you want to win on the Democratic side? Who would you most likely want to run against?
I still want them all to drop out and let me have a real clear shot all the way to the White House. Yeah.
So you're realistic.
Frankly, I think there's some Democrats that I think they're all sincere. I think there's a fundamental difference between us in terms of whether we think taxes ought to go up or down, whether government ought to be more or less involved. But look, I have respect for anybody that runs for president. You know, I have a great respect for Barack Obama. I think he's a person who is trying to do in many ways what I hope I'm trying to do, and that is to say, let's quit what I call horizontal politics. Everything in this country is not left, right, liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican. I think the country's looking for somebody who's vertical, who's thinking, let's take America up and not down. And people will forgive you for being left or right if you go up.
Okay, now I know you've got to get back to Iowa.
I do. I love Iowa. Great people.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mike